Alright, let's begin. Now, marginal cost. First of all, you must understand that marginal cost shows additional cost incurred when output changes by 1 minute. Right? Whether increase or decrease doesn't matter, what is the change in that total cost. So, marginal cost is closely related to the asked now the formula for marginal cost is what? That will be change in total cost by change in quantity of output. But if they ask you that marginal cost is closely related to what action you write is, and in the option you have both total cost and total variable cost or variable cost they given. Both options are correct, but which is more correct? Total variable cost. They will like this term. Why? Because total cost doesn't have its own identity. Every change in the total cost is only due to the change in the total variable cost, which is total fixed cost energy. So it means as much as the change in the total variable cost is happening, that much change in the total cost is happening. So the real reason for the change in the marginal cost is due to the change in the total variable cost. So if they don't give you total variable cost, then the total cost is not. And we know that total cost also increases cost at a diminishing rate, that increases because total cost will behave with the same way as total variable cost. So average total cost will also behave with the same way. It means if total variable cost is increasing at diminishing rate initially, due to which average variable cost falls. So can I say if total variable cost is increasing at a diminishing rate, then total cost must also increase at a diminishing rate because every change in total cost is due to total variable cost. So it means the average total cost will also will fall. And when total variable cost increases at an increasing rate, it means total cost will also increase at an increasing rate, correct? So when total variable cost is increasing at an increasing rate, it means average variable cost will increase. Likewise, when total cost, sorry, it will decrease diminishing rate by increasing rate. Sorry. Average variable cost will increase. And total cost is increasing at an increasing rate, it means average total cost will also increase. So one thing is settled. Whether it's total variable cost or total cost. If any of them is increasing at a diminishing rate, then average will fall. And if any of them is increasing at an increasing rate, then average will increase. Diminishing rate से increase करेगा, average will fall. Increasing rate से increase करेगा, average will increase. Clear? So when I talk about marginal cost, when total cost is initially increasing at a diminishing rate, don't you think marginal cost will fall? If suppose this is the quantity of output, this is the total cost. I'm producing 10 units at let's say 300 rupees. I'm producing 20 units at 500 rupees. Now, if I have to calculate the marginal cost, now first of all, tell you is the total cost increasing at a diminishing rate or increasing rate? You tell. इतना डिफिकल्ट थोड़ी है रे। 10 को बनाने का 300 लगता है, 20 को बनाने का 600 लगेगा ना, 500 तो लगेगा नहीं। So it means it should have increased to 600, but it is increasing to 500 only. It means can I say total cost is increasing at a diminishing rate? Correct? And if I have to calculate the marginal cost here, you tell me what should be the value. It will be 2,500 minus 300 change in total cost divided by 20 minus 10. That is 200 by 10 to 20. Now, from here to here, 10 to 20, my total cost has increased by 200. If I produce 10 more units, right, and it increases to 600. Now tell me, is the total cost increasing at a diminishing rate or increasing rate? Same at a diminishing rate because previous one has increased by 200. Now for the same quantity level of quantity increase, it is increasing by 100. So if I calculate the marginal cost here, you tell me what should be the value? The value will be 10. Right? And we know that initially total cost increases at a diminishing rate. Why? Because variable cost increases at a diminishing rate. And total cost is nothing but change in it is due to the total variable cost. Correct enough? And that's why marginal will also come. Now, if I'm producing 40 units and now total cost increases to 900. Now tell me, from year to year it increased by 100. But from 30 to 40th unit it is increasing by 300. Is it increasing at an increasing rate or diminishing rate now? Increasing. So if I want to calculate the marginal cost over here, what will be the marginal cost? That will be 30. So marginal cost is started to rise. So can we say that marginal cost भी वही follow करेगा? When total cost increases, its average at a diminishing rate, its average will fall, its marginal cost will also fall. When total cost increases at an increasing rate, its average will rise and its marginal will also rise. The only difference is that the marginal will rise more sharply than the average. If you look at the table, you see both ATC and ABC are falling and MC is also falling. But after reaching their lowest point, when they begin to rise, marginal cost rises more sharply than the average total cost and average variable cost. So the marginal cost will cut both the ATC and ABC from below from their respective minimum points. So now the question will be based on diagrams. Right. So if this was my average total cost, this is my average variable cost, and this is my marginal cost. So marginal cost will cut both ATC or ABC from their respective minimum point. Now what you need to remember here, first of all, if I ignore the ATC curve, beta goes to, can I say that when ABC, right, when ABC has a negative slope, it means can I say negative slope means ABC is falling, then marginal cost is it lies above the ATC or above the ABC or below the ABC? Below the ABC. So can I say marginal cost is less than average variable cost? Settle out this point here. That is the negative slope of ABC. If I say that when this is the positive slope of ABC, the circle part, now with the increase in output, ABC is rising because total variable cost must be increasing at an increasing rate. So can I say when ABC is increasing, or they can ask you if they have a positive slope, then in that case, don't you think marginal cost is more than average variable cost? Right? Right. Now, if I draw the ATC, and remove the ABC. Don't you think the same logic is applicable with this as well? That is, when ATC has a negative slope, means ATC is falling. Does MC lies above or below ATC? Below ATC. And when ATC has a positive slope, that is ATC is increasing with the increase in the level of output, then MC it lies above the ATC. ये तो एक क्वेश्चन आएगा डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन from the डायरेक्ट. They can also try to confuse you between relationship between AC or ATC because in the long run we don't make a distinction between variable and total because everything is variable. So in the long run you can call it the average cost curve as AC curve. You can call it as ATC curve or you can also call it as LAC curve. Right? Now, ATC curve, if I draw here, in the long run, AC or ATC, and this is your marginal cost. Now, marginal cost cuts the AC or ATC curve from below, that is the similar term that we discussed here, over here. Here. Again, similar point when AC or ATC has a negative slope, MC lies below. And when AC or ATC has a positive slope, MC lies above. But remember, you will try to figure out whether you know the difference between MC and AC. MC, when it changes, it will change the AC in the same way. In the same way, not by the exact figure. It means when MC is increasing, AC or ATC can never decrease. Because when MC is increasing, it means total cost is increasing at a increasing rate. And when total cost is increasing at a increasing rate, its average will increase or decrease. Decrease. So can I say when MC is rising, when MC is rising, MC is increasing, then AC or ATC will also increase. If suppose MC is decreasing, when it decreases, when total cost increases at a diminishing rate, it means its average is falling. So can I say in that case AC or ATC will also decrease. So looking at the MC, I can conclude about AC or ATC. But looking at the AC or ATC, I cannot conclude about MC. Because if I ask you that AC is increasing, can I conclude about what is happening to MC? Now from the diagram you can conclude. But they have not mentioned that AC or ATC has a positive slope with regard to also MC is more than AC or ATC. But if they ask you, that is correct. If they ask you that AC is increasing, what can be concluded with regard to MC? Your answer should be nothing can be concluded. Because AC can increase even without any change in the level of output. Those three numericals are given you. Logically easy understanding there. The height example, if you remember, if there are 100 students in the classroom, I want to find out average height of the student. Add up everybody's height and divide by number n, that is 100. You get 5.5 feet average height. That doesn't mean that everybody is 5.5 feet. It may be 7 feet as well. 6.5 as well. Somebody may be 5.5 over, somebody may be 5. Average is 5.5. But when a new individual enters the classroom and his height is 7 feet or 6.5 feet, he is a marginal person. His height is more than the average height of the classroom. If I include him or her in the group and take the average again, dividing by 101, will the average increase or decrease? It will increase. Mathematically, it is possible. Is it possible it will decrease? But increase by a small amount, whatever. Amount doesn't matter here, but it will increase. So can we conclude when the marginal is higher than the average, it will pull the average to its side? Likewise, when somebody enters the classroom whose height is only 4 feet, right? So now if I include him or her in the group and take the average, do you think average will fall? So can I conclude that when the average height, when the marginal is lower than the average, or when the marginal is falling, average will also fall. So here I can conclude when marginal increases, AC or ATC will also increase. When marginal cost decreases, AC or ATC will also decrease. But if I give you the question, average cost is increasing, what happens to marginal cost? You cannot say anything. Why? Because average can increase even without increasing the level of output. I was producing 10 units at rupees 200. Now my average cost is how much? 20. I'm producing same 10 units. Now my cost increases to 300. Now the average increases to 30. Average is increasing, isn't it? Can I calculate the marginal? The answer is no. Why? Because change in the total cost is happening. So I can say delta TC is 100. But what is the delta quantity? 0. So can you have any coin that has an infinite value? The answer is no. Understood? That is the relationship with regard to MC, AC, and ATC. Now comes the planning curve or envelope curve or LHC curve. I told you we'll get around 4 questions from here. Mother of all curve. So LHC curve, planning curve. Why do we call it planning curve? Because when anybody starts a business, they don't have a predefined expansion plan. As the business goes on, they will continue to expand. And how the business will expand? By putting in more and more plan. Pepsi started selling cold drink. They didn't start to sell cold drinks and manufacturing it in 100 countries of the world directly. Right. And एक plant आया ना, then the maximum potential of that plant is reached. If you try to produce more than what is the limit of the fixed input, then wastage will happen. So Pepsi will set up another plant, then another plant, then another plant. This way the businesses expand. In any business, you want to open a coaching institution, one branch, the performance is very nice. You don't have much seat available. You take one more. You take one more. This is where many organizations go, and that is the reality of every business. So these are small, short-term average cost curve, which represents plant size. Alright. Now remember one thing, that the most productive efficient point in the short run is at the lowest point of each SSE. And the productive efficient point in the long run is the lowest point of LSE. Now, initially when I put a plant and I'm using it inefficiently, then you see this is your average cost and this is the output. Your average cost is more compared to the quantity you produce. So if you produce more and use your plant more efficiently, not all your cost is going to increase in the same proportion. So as a result, what will happen? Your average cost will fall down. I'm not saying your total cost will fall down. Your average will fall down. It means what? It is never possible that you increase your level of output, your total cost decreases. No. So it means what I meant here, this is the quantity and this is the total cost and this is the average cost. I was producing 10 units at 100 rupees, the average was 10. I am producing 20 units at 180 rupees, the average is 9. Well, total cost is increased, but due to better utilization, it has increased at a decreasing rate, due to which the average is falling down. So don't you think it is important for every businessman to produce at the lowest of each SSE curve? Correct? Correct. Now, after you reach this lowest point, what will happen? If you keep using this plant and produce more, All right. Is it clear now? Yeah, to you it's clear. You guys. All right. So now if I use the same plant to produce more, then what will happen here? 30 units I am producing, and the cost from here to here, which has increased by 80 rupees, it may increase to, let's say, 400 rupees. So don't you think, or let's say it increases to 300 rupees. So don't you think my average again increases to 10 rupees, which is not a good deal? So I will not use this plant to produce more than what it permits. I'll buy another plant. The moment I buy another plant and I use it more efficiently, you see, I'm able to increase my level of output from Q1 to Q2, and my average cost falls. LAC falls. It means now when I'm producing 30 units, then my cost may increase to only, let's say, uh, 60, that is 240. So it means it increases to, it decreases to 8, correct? So average cost is falling down. This way, I will continue to add more and more plant and produce at the lowest of successive short-run average cost curve. But after reaching this point, the same logic is not applicable. It means if I put one more plant, you see what happens is that my average cost begins to rise. Then why I'm not getting the benefit here? Because when businesses become big, they become complex. And when they become complex, even small mistake you make, that will exponentially increase your cost. So beyond a certain point, by this law, any business will not be able to expand. Now that is the old guys who gave this theory. In the real world, don't you think we have seen that businesses can infinitely expand? Correct? There are companies among the Fortune 500, whether you take Hyundai, Haier, Bajaj Motorcycles, Maruti, they are expanding, 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 and expanding. Now, in that case, is it possible that the cost will continue to fall down? No, the cost will not continue to fall down. Tell me, if I ask you, which is the most productive efficient point? If this is the most productive efficient point, then businesses will want to remain at this point, correct? Because beyond this point, your average cost increases. So is it a possibility that after falling to the lowest level, my LSE doesn't rise up again, but it becomes flat, and I can go on adding more and more plant, but my LSE doesn't rise. Doesn't mean that total cost is not increasing. Total cost is increasing, but in a way that your average doesn't change. So it means if suppose total cost hai, this is your average cost and this is your output. Let's say after producing and producing, you have increased. Let's take this particular situation. If you produce 40 units, now your average will become same. So here 320, 50 units, here it will be 400. Now total cost is increasing, but it increases in a way that your average cost is not affected. And when your average cost is not affected, we know in the fourth chapter we've seen that average revenue and average cost determines the profit of the company. So the market price remains same, but my average cost is no more rising. At the lowest point, I've been able to keep it at that way. So don't you think my profit, minimum profit is secured? Now my profit will change according to the market forces when the price of the product is increasing or decreasing. My cost is not responsible for determining my profit because I'm producing at the most efficient level. That is only possible if there is advanced technology. For example, bank example I gave you. Anything you take it. Ford Motors, they were producing cars. At a point, their operational cost increased. I'm talking about the 19th century. So much that they say it's not feasible to produce any more car. Henry Ford came up with the concept of assembly, that rather than one person doing 10 tasks,
one person will do one task. All right. If suppose I am making this pen, I am arranging everything in this pen. There are 5 process. Cap lagane ka, refill lagane ka, this and that. Everybody is doing one single work. One person is doing one single. मैं कैप लगा के पास किया और रिफिल लगा के पास किया. Don't you think I'm doing the same thing repeatedly? My efficiency will increase. So if 5 people doing all the work, they will produce this much. But if among those 5 people, each person is doing only one task repeatedly, then the production will increase exponentially. So he invented what is known as assembly system. And due to adoption of technology, now businesses can expand as much as possible. Their average cost do not increase. Banking example the other. Today, do you think physically you need to go to the bank? No. Unless you want to withdraw 10 crore rupees cash, कोई politician को खरीदने का है. You don't need to go to the bank. Everything is done on a mobile phone. स्कूल का फी पे करने का, यशस का फी पे करने का है, बड़ा पाव खाने का है, everything. Right? In developed countries, US and other countries, you can buy also a car using your credit card sitting at your home. पढ़ा था ना news? Apple Pay से a millionaire's son, he was playing, small kid playing with his father's phone and accidentally purchased a Mercedes Benz. So, but advanced technology can make it happen. So this is the end of your chapter 3. Alright. Now chapter 4. Chapter 4 is easier in a way. Not many diagrams are there, but a lot of concepts are there. Now I will not go into that type of market, short period market, long period market. You read it yourself. That is easy. Alright. Main distinction is made between perfect competition, monopolistic, monopoly, and oligopolistic. Similarities and dissimilarities you have to remember, and unique characteristics. So quickly kya tha? Perfect competition. Ideal constructed theoretical reality doesn't exist. First of all, if they ask you which market closely resembles a perfectly competitive market, it's a perishable good market. Closely resembles, perfect market nahi hai, closely resembles. Characteristic kya hai? Perfect substitutes are sold. It means homogeneous goods, different terms they will use. Undifferentiated goods, identical goods, means the same thing. Free entry and exit, no barrier. The firms are price taker, unique characteristic. Because in all other competition, the firms are price maker. So many a time they ask you the question, which are the characteristic or which are true with regard to price taking firms. It means perfect competition ka question. Correct? Correct. Do they make abnormal profit? Absolutely never. Whether in the short or in the long run, they can never make abnormal profit. Because losses and abnormal loss can be common to every business, even in monopoly. But abnormal profit is not possible in every business. Right? In a perfect competition, either you can earn normal profit or loss or abnormal loss. Right? Now, there is no price discrimination. Price discrimination is another topic in itself, wherein you get 3 questions from there itself. I'll come to that. But price discrimination is what? I'm producing the same commodity at the same cost, but I'm offering at one place at 10 rupees, another place at 20 rupees. I'm discriminating. The only way I discriminate is when people have no other choice. And that happens in a monopoly. You want to take, you don't want to take, no problem. Clear. But here there will be no price discrimination. Moreover, every firm is a price taker. And how this price taker has happened? I entered the market, my cost was 10 rupees, I was selling at 15 rupees. Others entered the market selling at 14. Yet another entered the market selling at 13. This way, the price came down to 10 rupees 20 paisa, 10 rupees 10 paisa. Now, if any new seller enters the market, can they afford to sell at 9 rupees? No. Can they afford to sell at 10 rupees 50 paisa? Nobody will buy perfect substitute. Clear. It means they will earn only normal profit, wafer thin margin of profit. When they are earning normal profit, can they indulge in advertisement cost or selling cost? The answer is no. And the other reason why they will not indulge in advertisement cost is because everybody is selling a perfect substitute. there is an assumption taken that everybody has perfect knowledge about the market, because the purpose of advertisement is what? To say that Complan is better than Horlicks, even though both are bad. Sugar hai. That is the purpose. No, if you buy a Samsung television, do you think a movie will show you more clips? उसमें जवान बूढ़ा दिखेगा? नहीं, बूढ़ा है बट नहीं, मूवी जवान I'm talking about. So in India is only a possibility when you make a movie calling it Jawan, but the person who made it is Buddha. So, so now, so advertisement cost is not a possibility here. We say there is a perfect mobility of factor. This is also a point. Why? Because everybody is producing the same thing. So it means technology, labor, material, labor expertise, material, everything is freely mobile between here and there. All right. Demand curve will be horizontal. Why? Because the firms are price taker, not price maker. I can only way make my profit, maximize my profit by increasing my sales, not by increasing the price. Nobody will buy otherwise. Now coming to this concept of demand curve, which is, and also remember the difference between pure and perfect competition. Two assumptions are taken in perfect competition, which is not held true for pure competition. All the other characteristics are same, but in a perfect competition, what are these two assumptions? There is absence of transportation cost or communication cost, and people have perfect knowledge about the market. But in case of pure competition, these two assumptions are not undertaken. Am I visible, guys? Diseconomies of scale. Dear, diseconomies of scale is when businessman is having difficulty in running the business. Right? I'm not able to increase my level of output. As a result, the sellers of the raw material is not giving me discount. My production is inefficient, due to which my production cost is very high. All right. Government is taking huge amount of tax, due to which my profitability is eroded. Lack of labor force available in the society. It means all the problems faced by businesses that will lead to decreasing returns to scale. Okay. Now, what I was saying? Yes. So what happens now in this case? You have the demand curve, which is not only the demand curve, but which is also the AR curve. Not only the AR curve, which is also the MR curve. And we know that AR is equals to price. So this is one in all. Now the most important thing that you need to remember, this is also the unique feature of a perfect competition, from where they will ask you question frequently. This is the only competition wherein MR and AR are same. And the reason for this is that the price is same. The firms are price taker. In all other competition, MR and AR, they begin from the same point, but they are never the same. This is a unique feature of a perfect competition. And as far as equilibrium is concerned, equilibrium of the industry is determined by what? Supply and demand. This is the equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity. But if I'm a seller in the market, how will I determine my own equilibrium? My own equilibrium will be determined at the point wherein this is my MR and MC. It will be determined by MC wherever the MC will cut the MR. All right. This is the point of equilibrium or point of profit maximization, because this is the point wherein maximum possible profit or maximum possible revenue, can be generated by the firm. Because we know that as you go on increasing your level of output, your marginal cost will continue to fall down. You see, if suppose the market has given you rupees 10 for a product, you cannot change this market price. The only way you can increase your margin of profit is bringing in efficiency internally. So let's say you are producing 100 units here, and your additional cost incurred for 100 units is rupees 8. So it means 2 rupees of additional revenue over the marginal cost you are generating, so are in the positive zone. But you see, if you're producing 300, 200 more units, it means 100 plus 200, 300. So 200 more units you are producing, due to which, let me write it 200 here only. So 200 more units, it means now you are producing 300 units. You find out that your average cost falls down to, marginal cost, sorry, falls down to rupees 4. So don't you think now you are generating relatively even higher marginal revenue over your marginal cost? So it means till that time my marginal revenue, that is the revenue earned when I'm increasing my sales by 1 unit, is higher than the cost incurred to produce that particular unit, I will continue to produce. So here I'm producing, you see, still my MR is more than MC. Still MR is more than MC. Still MR is more than MC. Here MR equals to MC. The moment this happens, I must realize that जितना मिलना था मिल गया, अब इतना ही प्रोड्यूस करना, इसके आगे नहीं जाने का. I'm not saying decrease, but produce at this level. Because if you produce beyond this point, then your marginal cost rises sharply. And now you are in the negative zone because the additional cost of producing this, let's say 100 units, is more than the revenue that you generate by selling this extra 100 units. So are you in a good situation like this? No. So when MC is more than MR, then you are at a disequilibrium wherein your revenue is lower than your additional cost. You should decrease your level of output. And till the time marginal revenue is more than marginal cost, you must increase the level of output. Till the point MR becomes equals to MC, which is the point of equilibrium for you. It means you should not go, neither go beyond this point, neither go below this point. Right. So for the market, equilibrium is the point wherein demand and supply, they intersect with each other. Whereas for for the business, it is the point where the MR is equals to MC. And share the thing so you will get the soft copy of this quick revision note. All right. Now, when we go to monopoly, it is a complete opposite what we have learned in perfect competition. Single seller. Remember, many a time they use the term market power. Market power means monopoly. Market power means monopoly. It means I have the power to twist the market, to turn the market. Correct. Let's say Airtel shuts down, Vodafone Idea shuts down, there is only Jio. Can I say then Mukesh Ambani will have the power to twist the market? अभी हॉटस्टार देखने का है तो इतना प्राइस देने का, नहीं तो कोल्ड स्टार हो जाएगा. So you cannot do anything about it. Right now there is competition. Despite it's an oligopoly, it's a competitive oligopoly. It means if one company increases the price, others will not, because those who are not increasing the price, they will benefit from it. Initially, before that, before Mota Bhai came in, it was a collusive oligopoly. Everybody used to increase the price in the same way at the same time. Where will you go? Vodafone increase कर दिया, मैं Airtel में जाएगा. Airtel भी increase कर दिया. Because my situation doesn't change now if I migrate. So market power, here the single seller is there. Now monopoly may be due to different reasons. Not always monopoly is bad. Government may have a monopoly for various purposes. Railway is a monopoly in India, right? Nuclear energy is a monopoly in India to protect national secret. So Natural monopolies. When I write a book, when you make a movie, nobody is allowed to copy that movie. Correct? If the government doesn't give you this right, monopoly right है ना, copyright. Correct? आप कोई गाड़ी manufacture, do you think any firm will be allowed in India to set up an automobile company and start selling its car calling it Maruti? No. Registrar of companies will not give you the name. And even by mistake, if he gives you the name, the other company will take you to the court. So, monopoly right can be given by the government as well. But the purpose of giving this monopoly right is to promote people to think about new ideas, invent a new idea, invent a new medicine, and this and that. Otherwise, company will not spend this money. Unnatural monopolies are bad. Unnatural monopolies कैसे आएगा? One company acquires another. Unnatural. Adani is buying everybody. Kind of a monopoly, not absolute monopoly नहीं हुआ. अगर हुआ तो dangerous है, जो कि होगा आगे जाके. Most of the media houses are 70%. Which company owns in India? Whether it's TV18, whether it's India Today, whether you see CNBC, Business News, Reliance Industries owns 70%. 70%. Can you imagine? So 100% भी हो जाएगा तो बताइए. And Adani has already bought NDTV. मोटा भाई कर रहा तो ये भी कर रहा. So monopoly, this kind of monopoly is unnatural monopoly. If it happens, it is bad. So that's why we have Competition Commission of India to look at any kind of unnatural monopolies that can come up due to acquisitions and merger. There will be a price discrimination in monopoly. We'll come to the concept of price discrimination later. Monopolies will usually earn abnormal profit, but they incur losses as well. Will they advertise their product? In the short run, they may advertise. In the long run, they don't need to. Because let's say Horlicks is the only company, Smithline Beecham is the only company which sells Horlicks. Right? There is no other drink available. So there is no competition. Just to inform people that I have a hot, health drink available, I can advertise once in a while. But in the long run, I will never advertise. So in the short run, they may incur the advertisement cost, never in the long run. If you remember the reason, you will not forget. If you just cram the points, you will forget all the time. Clear. There'll be very strong barrier to entry. Because why will I want somebody else to enter my market and take away my consumer? I will create this barrier by hook or by crook. Bribing the government official, have control over the supplier. All right. So many ways. And the worst will be what is known as price war, price barrier. If you enter the market, I'll start to sell below cost. You cannot afford to sell at this. Because I've been in the market, I've taken a lot of money from the people in terms of price discrimination. So I can afford to sell at a loss for a couple of years. You cannot. So when you're wiped out, I will increase the price. The others know that I'm going to do this. So they will never enter the market. Clear? This is the situation. That's why it is bad for the market. And of course, we have told you that a monopolist will have to think about, they cannot think both. Either they can decide on the price or output and not both. Why? Because even though I'm a monopolist, don't you think if I increase the price, people have no option available? But what if I'm selling beyond their budget line? If I'm selling beyond that budget line, then many customers will not be able to buy. So don't you think demand will fall down? Correct? But if I want to sell more, I have to decrease the price. It means if I keep the price high, the demand will fall down. I cannot decide on that quantity if I'm deciding on the price. But if I decide on more quantity, then I cannot decide on the price. I have to keep the price down. I cannot decide on both price and output. Either price or output reaches, because violation of the law of demand doesn't happen. We say cross elasticity of demand in a monopoly is zero. Why? If there is one company selling a refrigerator, then can you replace that brand with another brand? The answer is no. What the hell is happening? So they will be now you must remember with regard to the where the demand curve will be downward sloping and less elastic or inelastic. Cross elasticity is zero, but the demand will be inelastic because people don't have much of an option. So if I increase the price by 10%, demand may fall down, but by 2 or 3%. So the demand curve, this is your AR curve, this is your MR curve, and this is your MC curve. Again, the equilibrium will be achieved at the point wherein MR is equals to MC. All right, MR is equals to MC, because remember, whether it's perfect competition or monopoly or monopolistic, the idea of marginal cost and marginal revenue doesn't change, no. Because if I'm, let's say, producing at this point, so this is my marginal cost here, and you see my marginal revenue has become negative. Should I be doing this? No. And if I'm producing at this point, no doubt my marginal cost is lower and my marginal revenue is higher. But don't you think I can further produce to this point and still my marginal revenue would be positive in this case? So it means I will produce to the point again. If you don't remember the diagram, just remember two things here. One thing basically, because other three things is similar to perfect competition. MR more than MC, increase the level of output. MR less than MC, decrease the level of output. MR equals to MC equilibrium. The only one thing you have to remember is that the demand curve is downward sloping and less elastic or inelastic, E less than 1 over. Now let's come to price discrimination. As I've told you, price discrimination is a situation wherein same commodity is sold to two different individuals or different market at different prices, despite the fact that the cost of production is same. But this discrimination can only be a possibility if three conditions are fulfilled. First condition, I must have the monopoly power. Second condition, it must not be possible for anybody to buy from a low price market and sell in a high price market. If I'm selling something in Calcutta at 1,000 rupees and in Bangalore at 10,000 rupees, do you think Bengalis are fools? All right, they will buy from Calcutta at 1,000 rupees, incur additional cost, no doubt about it, let's say 500 rupees, and sell in Bangalore same thing at 5,000 rupees. Don't you think the people will buy from that Bengali rather than from that monopolist? Correct. So it means I will make more profit than the monopolist and I will topple him eventually. So here the monopolist will have to get less greedy. He will not keep such a big price differential. If in Calcutta is selling at 1,000 rupees, in Bangalore he will sell at 1,100 rupees. Now it will not be possible for somebody to buy at 1,000 rupees and sell in Bangalore at 500 rupees. It will not be a possibility. So that is the second condition. And third most important condition, the elasticity of demand should be different in different markets. In those markets where the demand is elastic, bolo, low price charge karega, high price charge karega. Low price. Why? Because if I decrease the price by 10%, my quantity demanded will increase by 20-30%. I will make more revenue. So I will charge a lower price in the market wherein E is greater than 1. But if the demand is inelastic, E less than 1, then why will I charge a lower price? Because I know that even if I increase the price by 20%, quantity demanded will fall down by 5%, 6%, 7%. So in this way, I can charge a higher price. So in a market where the demand is inelastic, I will always charge a higher price. In the market where the demand is elastic, I will charge a lower price, because in both the situation, the total revenue of the seller is going to increase. But what if in both the market, A and B, both the market, the demand is elastic. It means in both market I have to sell at a lower price, correct? Or in both the market demand is inelastic, then in both the market I have to sell at a higher price. So in this case, no price discrimination is possible. Price discrimination will only be possible if in one market the demand is elastic, other demand is inelastic, or vice versa. Here the demand is inelastic, here the demand is elastic. Then only price discrimination is possible. That is the third condition. From here also one question you will get. And one more question from Pigou's degree of price discrimination. Very, very important. Always one question is asked. What is that? First degree, second degree, and third degree of price discrimination. Under first degree of price discrimination, a monopolist will what? Very high price, very low price, very high price. So consumer surplus will not be there. Whatever the consumer knows that he is an exploitative seller, they will be willing to pay a high price. He will charge a high price. And why consumers are willing to pay a high price? Because they know that I cannot buy it at a lower price. He will not sell. So there is no consumer surplus. Exploitation is highest in the first degree of price discrimination. In the second degree, you have another kind of monopolist who thinks that by decreasing the price just a little bit, I can increase the demand for my product. So I will give a little bit of discount, not too much, but relatively lower price than the first degree of price discrimination. So in that case, what will happen? There will be some amount of consumer surplus. And the third degree of price discrimination can be due to any factor. In one market, there are more, I'm selling fast food. In one market, there are more young citizens. Demand is very high, I'll charge a high price. Other place, more middle-aged and old-age people are there compared to young citizens, I will charge a lower price. I'm selling cosmetic, which is a different kind of cosmetic. I have a monopoly in that. I know gender ratio here, it is higher, more women than men. I will charge a high price. Gender ratio is adverse, I will charge a low price, which is changing by the way. All right. So changing by the way, it means now even men are spending similar significantly higher amount of money on cosmetics. All right. Clear. This is, it could be on density of population, age, income group, whatever it is. McDonald का example दिया था ना, when it came in India, standardized burger was never sold. Standardized burger, it means if you buy a burger, aloo tikki burger from Bangalore McDonald or Delhi McDonald or Mumbai McDonald, taste will be same. Bada pav same नहीं होगा. Standardized burger. When it came, it was the only company which was selling standardized burger in India. They knew that in Bangalore, in Calcutta, in Mumbai, people can afford to pay 150 rupees, 200 rupees for a burger. But if I go to other cities, Varanasi, Nagpur, these places, Allahabad, Lucknow, 200 रुपए का burger कोई नहीं लेगा. The same burger was sold at 80 rupees, 90 rupees. Price discrimination depending on income. All right. In the real world, actual world, this kind of price discrimination is seen even in monopolistic market. Even in monopolistic market. आप देखो, and the reality is that it is happening in case of those goods which are perishable goods, which are closer to a perfectly competitive market. If you want to buy fruits and vegetable, location के हिसाब से depend करता है. In a posh locality, a vendor is selling a fruit, he will charge you a high price. But if you go to a mandi to buy or some other place, it will be sold at a lower price. So the laws of economics have to be changed later on, right? Then we come to what is known as monopolistic market. We are living and breathing in monopolistic market. This is one market which is very common everywhere in the world. Because we say any market wherein more than 10 sellers are there for any particular product is a monopolistic market. Don't you think everything or most of the thing that we have purchased, that you think about that you have purchased, you go back, it is sold by 10 companies, whether it is a shoe or a watch or a cosmetic or a motorcycle or a car. Telecom sector में भी था, अभी oligopoly हो गया वो, right? So it's, we are surrounded. So goods which are sold they are differentiated goods, similar but non-identical. Bingo chips and Lays में क्या difference है? Potato का ही है, difference little bit here and there, alright, so little bit here and there doesn't matter. आप मेडिमिक्स से ना आएगा या लाइफ बॉय से ना आएगा, जैसा दिख रहा वैसे ही दिखेगा, कोई चेंज नहीं आने वाला, या डफ से ना आए सेम, ऐसा नहीं. सो इट डजंट मैटर. सो सिमिलर गुड्स है बट नॉट आइडेंटिकल, दे आर द सब्स्टिट्यूट, दे आर नॉट परफेक्ट सब्स्टिट्यूट. क्लियर? अगेन हियर एडवर्टीजमेंट क्लॉज प्लेज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो इसको बोलते हैं नॉन प्राइस कंपटीशन. प्राइस डज नॉट मैटर, एडवर्टीजमेंट देके पागल कर दो लोगों को, people will buy. Here advertisement, don't you think, tell me, in one day at least 20 advertisement you see, minimum 20 advertisement on your phone. Facebook open कर दिखेगा, YouTube open कर दिखेगा, Insta में दिखेगा. I think 20 is a lower number, but 20 advertisement आप रोज रोज देखेगा, एक दिन तो लेगा, कुछ तो लेगा. And we are talking about a country with has a population higher than China now. We have beaten China in productivity. Right. Average cost एकदम lowest पे efficiency है. Clear? So in terms of production of goods and services we are also going to beat. पहले बोला कि देखो इसमें मैं बीट कर सकता, अभी दिखा दिया, अभी प्रोडक्शन में बीट करेगा, देखो. Right. Now they're different. So advertisement plays a very very important. It is an open competition, no barrier to entry. Businesses may earn, now important point, may earn abnormal profit but only in the short term. How they will earn? Due to unique characteristic of the particular product. एक हेयर ऑयल निकाला, बोला इसको लगाओ एकदम सारा हेयर आ जाएगा, कुछ नहीं होता. But people will buy initially and company will charge a higher price. Later on every company will come, इसको लगाओ, वो बोला 30 दिन में, बोला 15 दिन में आएगा. Third company will come, 1 week में आएगा. India is a big country. Even one time, two time purchase, 500 crore people will make. The company will take your money and run away. You'll never see them again. But they have made crores of rupees. Clear? So that is a big industry in India, hair fall industry. मैं तो वेट कर रहा कोई एक कंपनी आए जो हेयर फॉल का पूरा एकदम इक्विटी मार्केट में आने का, मैं तो सबसे पहले शेयर लेगा. यहाँ हेयर फॉल गिरेगा, यहाँ शेयर प्राइस उठेगा. So company's profit will increase. I'm waiting. Nobody is coming up with an IPO. So now anyways, so advertisement plays a very important, so unique characteristic of the product. Apple क्या करता देखो. What is the difference between iPhone 13, 14 and 15? Only the number. Yes, that's what I want to say. Number is different, they will charge a price. ये डायनामिक आइलैंड, वो आइलैंड, ये दिस दैट, M1 M2, क्या कुछ नहीं, सेम. 5% difference, 30% increase in price. People will go Aga and they will buy. Others will copy. Right. So they will continue. So due to unique characteristic, they will charge a high price. After that, they will decrease the price. The best way to buy Apple product is wait for a new launch and the previous generation ka kharido, you will save 30-40%. The smart people do it that way. And there is not much difference. All right. There is not much difference. So this is where you can save money. But there are people who are crazy. नहीं, मैं first day first show देखेगा, पहला फोन खरीदेगा पहला बंदा, पे करो. They are the fools which are giving profit to the company. Right. So advertisement in the long run, but no abnormal profit they can earn. Clear? They will have to keep coming up with a new product to keep earning this. Then demand curve. Remember, the cross elasticity of demand in case of monopolistic market is very high because large number of substitutes are available, and so the demand curve will be downward sloping, looking similar, but it will be more elastic. When demand curve It becoming more horizontal, less vertical. Elasticity is increasing because large number of substitutes are available. All right. So monopolistic is easy done. Then oligopoly. Oligopoly 2 to 10 players are there. When there is two, only known as duopoly. Oligopoly का various characteristics are. Similar characteristic हमें क्या है? One similar characteristic with monopoly, similar but non-identical goods based है, differentiated goods based है. There will be barrier to entry, provided it's a collusive oligopoly or closed oligopoly. I'll come to that. Remember, general characteristic of oligopoly is there and specific characteristics are there. If they have not mentioned that it's a competitive oligopoly, then we will always answer the question according to the general characteristic that we have written. There will be a strong barrier to entry. It will be, there'll be a lot of advertisement cost which is similar to monopolistic market. All right. Price discrimination will not be there. Firm is a price maker. All right. Only perfect competition is price taker. Now, in case of oligopoly, the demand curve is known as Kincaid demand curve. Abnormal profit, of course, they can earn. Kincaid demand curve, very important. Every time one question they will ask. Every time, every single time. Sometimes two also. So, what is the Kincaid demand curve shows? It is due to price rigidity, or we call it indeterminate demand curve. Indeterminate demand curve. It means Kincaid demand curve, and you'll get a demand curve like this. A kink is there here. Above the kink, the demand is elastic. Below the kink, the demand is inelastic. Meaning what? If I'm producing at this point, this is the price. Now, if I increase the price from P0 to P1, you see quantity demanded falls down by a big amount. Correct? Why? Because when I increase the price, other do not increase the price in the same way. If I increase the price by 20%, other may increase it by 5%, 7%, 8%. They will increase or they may not increase. They will not follow the same price increase. Why? They are benefited, no? My increase किया, मेरा customer आपके पास भागेगा. And due to this price differential for very similar commodity, consumers become very volatile. Consumers in large numbers will move from me and they will start buying your product. So my demand for my product will fall sharply. But when I decrease the price from P0 to P2, you see demand increases from Q0 to Q2 by a small margin. It means demand is inelastic. Why? Because the moment I decrease the price by 40%, you people will start losing your customer. The moment you realize what is happening to you, you will also decrease the price. So it means the customer will flow to me only till the time there is a price differential. The moment price differential is plugged, the customer flow from you to me will stop. So I will gain only by a small amount, only till the time when I have decreased the price and you haven't. Your customer will come to me. The moment you decrease the price also, your customer flow from you to me will stop. So the demand will become inelastic. So above the king demand is elastic, below the king demand is inelastic. Or in other words, they can also give you a statement that the response of the consumer to the price increase is higher compared to the response of the consumers in terms of price decrease. This concept of price rigidity was given by Swiggy or Swizzy. Paul Swizzy. Sometimes they ask you this name as well. Now, different types of oligopoly you have to know. What are the different types of oligopoly? Very easy. Only thing that they will have, you have to remember is between centralized, not only thing, easy way out. Pure oligopoly, homogeneous good, differentiated oligopoly, similar but non-identical goods. एक हो गया. दूसरा, partial oligopoly. Why we call it partial? It is doesn't have complete characteristic of oligopoly. It has more characteristic of oligopoly and one characteristic of monopolistic market. Poultry industry in India, pizza industry in India. How many companies are selling pizzas in India? Many. But which two company alone has more than 80% of the market? Everybody knows that. It means they are the price maker, price leader. If I open a pizza company selling my pizza higher than Domino's on Pizza Hut, will I be able to attract customers? No. So it means every new seller in the market entering to sell pizza will have to price his product below Domino's and Pizza Hut to attract the customers. And they can only increase the price when the leader increases the price. I want to sell cold drink. There are 30-40 companies selling cold drinks in India. But which two companies own more than 90%? Coca-Cola and Pepsi. All the brand that you can think about, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Limca, Fanta, Sprite, uh, 7 Up, Dew, they either belong to or Slice. It either belongs to Coca-Cola or Pepsi. How many people consume Bindu Jeera drink? I consume. Yeah. But sold in Karnataka only. Correct? Bisleri cold drink बेचता है रे. हाँ. फ्रूट जूस. हाँ. जूसेस नहीं होता रे, जूस होता है. I have water, not water. गलत लिखता है वो लोग. In India, we try to make things more clear and we make a mess of it. It's a fruit juice. You will go for a haircut, you will not go for a hair's cut. Different. You don't call it juices. Yes, in a way you can say Xerox को photocopying को Xerox बोलेगा, but juices नहीं. Juice plural नहीं. Deer का plural deers नहीं होता. Deer होता. So now we Indians make English funny because maybe in the next 100 years we'll have one more dictionary for especially for Indians. This is how Indians talk. You go to UP, mind blowing नहीं, mind blasting बोलते हैं. Something is mind blowing है, mind blasting है. Mind blasting. Mind blasting. So partial oligopoly बोलता because it has large number of sellers as monopolistic, but only few sellers, 1 or 2 sellers have market control, market leader, price leadership situation. Then you have open and close, very simple. Open entry is easy, close entry is not allowed. Clear. Competitive and collusive. Competitive, everybody is competing with each other. For example, in India, domestic airline sector, competitive oligopoly. Telecom sector, competitive oligopoly. Right. Collusive oligopoly. Here, the concept of you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. They will form a syndicate. Collusive oligopoly में दो different types आता है. One is known as syndicate and another is known as organized. They have some similarity. Syndicate, many firms will come together. They will join hand together, make an association. It's not legal, so it's not done on pen and paper. Mutual understanding hai. They will come and pool their products, and the syndicate will sell in different market. Wherever the demand is there, they will sell more. Demand is less, they will sell less. Organized, they will do the same thing. They will again form a syndicate. They will pool their output to syndicate, and syndicate will sell. But in an organized oligopoly, there is a price fixing situation. Price rigging, price fixing. How they fix the price? Demand is here, they will supply less, so the price is high. OPEC countries, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. What they do? The member of these countries, OPEC plus में Russia भी आ गया अभी. They control more than 75% of the global supply of crude. So they will meet together and they will intentionally fix demand is here, our supply will be here. And if any member country overproduces, there is a penalty. If you underproduce, then the quota, there is no penalty. Because if you produce more than the global demand, price will crash, as it happened yesterday. But if you produce less than the global demand, price will rise. So they would do indulge in price fixing. So wherever the word price fixing comes, you will mark the phrase that is organized. If price fixing is not there, it is only a syndicate. So this is the end of your 4th chapter. So now the 5th chapter, that is business cycle. Sorry. Plural of juices. Juices. I don't know. All right, 5 minutes breather you can take. We'll continue with chapter 5. Don't go out, stay in the class. All right, let's continue. Hey, BCK, there is not much to do, right? BCK is very easy. So you refer the BCK from the quick revision note that will be shared with you guys. Uh, Chapter 5, Business Cycle. All right. Business cycle, again, a very important topic. There, remember inflation, you all know what is inflation and everything. The important questions from the point that they ask is that what is business cycle? Is a natural rise and fall in economy. Why we call it natural? Quite ray. Why? Why natural rise and fall has got nothing to do with nature? It means it happens in every market. Simple logic. Dekho, if I'm selling something at a higher price and continue to increase the price, at some point people will say, "बहुत expensive hai." Demand will fall down. I'll have unsold stock. I have to decrease the price. Demand will go up. This way, market also function because market is nothing but the summation of demand and supply that is taking place in every sector. Quite usually, market work, business cycle or trade cycle works beautifully in a free market economy where the government is not controlling anything. If the price of any particular commodity or the entire sector is controlled by the government in that sector, the concept of business cycle will never work out. Right. Business cycle we call is rise and fall, but it has 4 stages. Why we are focusing on 2 stages? Because the other 2 stages are turning point. Market cannot either remain at depression for very long, chala gaya bhaad mein, and market cannot remain at the peak for very long. Hyperinflation will kill the economy. So it means majority of the time period it goes between expansion and contraction, and the peak and depression are simply the turning points, wherein peak is the maximum point to which any economy can reach at that point. It doesn't mean it's a permanent peak. Every time a new peak will be created in a growing economy. India is a growing economy, and if you try to figure out the peaks, you will find that maybe 1980s may we were here, 1990 may we were here, 2000 may we were here, and this way every time, every 10-15 years a new peak is created. Now business cycle will have serious effect consequences upon the economy, but they don't have the same effect. Neither they are caused due to the same reason, nor they have the same longevity. But there is always a pattern. Always a pattern. Pattern क्या है? If I see that then economy, you you know 50 years back expansion went on for 6 years. Contraction happened that lasted for 4 years. Then expansion happened for 5.5 years. So every time expansion begins, it remained the economy continues to expand in between 5 years to 6 years. So they have an average, and every time in the past it has happened. So it means this time also, if the expansion has started and it's been 1 year, expansion has begun in India. Can I conclude comfortably that expansion will continue for at least 4 years more? So it will past data will help us understand the pattern of changes in the business cycle. That's why understanding business cycle is very important. Because if I'm a businessman and start a business, the business is good, but at the wrong time. मैं पीक पे गया इकोनॉमी, वहां पे मैं बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया, and then the economic downfall happened. For 5 years, my sales will be affected adversely. In 5 years, I'll go bankrupt. But if I'm at the lowest point, and then the moment recovery begins, and then I start a business over here, don't you think that 4 years, 5 years of run up will give me enough capital to sustain my business for the recession that happens or contraction that happen in the next 4 years? Correct. So right time पे right business start करने का. For government also, business cycle changes are very important to determine the policies. Business cycle is synchronic. What is the meaning of synchronic? Two reasons. Because business cycle, when it changes, not only production and demand changes, investment also changes, interest rate also changes, inflation also changes, money supply also changes, holistic things. And it may begin in one sector, but it will affect every other sector of the economy. It's just like a wildfire, everything will burn during the contraction, everything will go up during expansion. Clear? Now, the stages of business cycle is where they will ask you, they will try to create a trap for you. Expansion expansion is also known as growth phase, wherein the GDP of the country is increasing. When the GDP is increasing, why the GDP is increasing? First of all, it means people are creating more demand. And why people are creating more demand? You have to make a chain, you will understand everything, and you have to read from the book. Why people are demanding more thing? Because their income is increasing. So एक पता चल गया कि demand is increasing because income is increasing. When people create demand, businesses will try to meet that demand. All right. They will have to increase their production. To increase their production, they will need what? Additional labor. So don't you think they will end up, in order to meet the demand of people, they will end up creating new job opportunity? Some other people will get the job, their income will increase, they will create the next wave of demand. Second thing, when they are expanding, they want to produce more, they need more working capital, and they want to increase their plant size. So demand for investment will increase. Correct? When the demand for investment is increasing, don't you think the bank will increase the interest rate or decrease the interest rate? Understand, money is nothing. Consider, if you are getting confused, think in this way. If I'm selling this pen, if I'm a pen manufacturing company, this pen is a commodity for me. Iska demand badega. People want to buy more and more of this pen. What will I do? Huh? I will increase the price or decrease the price? I will increase the price rate. Diwali आया, लड्डू का डिमांड बढ़ा. Every sweet shop was selling laddu at a discount. No, at a premium they were selling. Correct? I will increase. For a bank, commodity is money. For a bank, commodity is money. And when more people are going to the bank to demand money, People's income is increasing, people will think, okay, I can repay the loan, I will take a loan. They create demand. Businesses think that I will raise the price because the demand is high, I can sell at a higher price, so I can afford to take a loan, so I'll take a loan. So both consumers and producers are going to the same bank. I mean, the bank caters to everybody to demand for loan. What the bank will do? Bank will increase the interest rate. Interest rate will increase, but nobody will bother. Why? मेरा income बढ़ा, मैं interest pay करेगा. Businessman का price बढ़ा के बेचेगा, वो भी in higher interest पे ले लेगा. Money supply is increasing in the market. All good and good. The profit of the company is increasing, but remember, here the positive side is the increase in growth, but the negative side is the increase in inflation. That is, the price level will rise. So growth and price level, inflation are brothers and sisters. They will go in the same way. Growth हुआ, inflation हो गई. As long as inflation is rising slower than growth, no problem at all. The problem comes when the growth increases by 6%, inflation increases by 12-13%. That is the problem. If growth happens by 6 or 7%, inflation increases by 1 or 2%, absolutely fine. So all good and good happen. Demand for money increases, money supply increases, everything is good. Now what will happen? You will reach a peak. Peak is the highest level to which any economy can rise. Now why the highest level? It means beyond that you cannot rise at that point in time. Why? Because the economy is at full employment level. Demand for pen is rising, labor is not available. How will I produce? Correct? When the demand increases significantly, businessmen are also demanding something. What they are demanding? If I'm manufacturing this pen, I'm also creating demand in the market for the raw material. So the way consumers is creating pressure upon me, I'm also creating pressure upon the providers of raw materials. So they will also increase the raw material prices. So people are willing to pay more. I increase the price, take a higher loan, interest rate increases, everything is increasing. At some point in time, people will say too expensive. Now at peak, what happens? The businesses earn highest profit, highest level of growth, maximum level of unemployment, or sorry, maximum level of employment, full employment, interest level will go to a highest possible level. Everything will become expensive for you. At some point in time, people will say bahut महंगा है, and they will decrease their demand. The moment that happens, businesses will have unsold stock and the beginning of contraction phase will happen. Economy will start to fall. Now businesses will have unsold stock. The first thing they will do, what? They will decrease their labor size. People will lose their job. Those people who have lost their job, they will decrease the demand further. So next wave of fall in demand happens. In some other company, again some labor retrenchment will happen. So economy is now at a contraction stage. So GDP has slowed down. Rate of GDP has started to fall. Positive growth hai, but economy is increasing at a diminishing rate. Level of unemployment rises. Some businesses start to earn lower profit. Other businesses start to incur losses. Now, as the economy went on to expansion peak and then contraction happened, contraction has many subphases. Let's say from point A to point B, if I come, it is still a contraction. But if I fall further and reach to point C, then it becomes a recession. All right. When contraction happens significantly, it leads to a recession. It means we are just 1 or 2 steps behind depression. So chronic recession will cause depression here. This is the lowest point to which economy can go. इसके बाद करेक्ट करने का one, if you ask me, sir, what will happen if we continue to go down, then खत्म. All right. Africa. All right. So we'll have to recover. Turning point पे economy doesn't remain for long. Crisis situation. Now what happens at depression? Contraction में क्या? Unemployment increases, businesses start significant. If you go to C level, recession aa gaya, businesses incur loss. Banks will have liquidity problem. Those people who have taken the loan, they are not able to pay the loan because they have lost their job. Those businesses who have taken the loan, they will not be able to pay up the loan in entirety. The bank will have to create non-performing asset situation, provision for doubtful debt. PBDD is nothing but NPA for a bank, non-performing asset. You have taken a loan from a bank. I am a bank. You have to pay me back 1000 crore. I found out that you cannot pay 1000 crore. You can pay only 800 crore back. So 200 crore का मैं provision for doubtful debt करेगा. Alright, that is from a performing asset. Now 200 is a non-performing asset. And if you are not able to pay anything, business band, I will take away all your asset and sell it in the market. I am able to recover only 400 crore. Then 600 crore I have to write off as bad debt. वो नहीं मिलने का कभी. So in depression, what happens? Liquidity crisis happens. Alright, liquidity crisis, banks bust हो जाते हैं. In depression, business shutdown happens, bankruptcy happens. Unemployment rate is at the highest level. Highest level. Everything is in a chronic situation in the economy. And that's why depression usually you will find happens every 20 years hota hai. Depression ka mild depression, it happened in 2008. It happened in IT bubble bust in 2000 happened. Amazon ka share it's 2001 or so. Amazon was listed during that time in US. 100 से $6 पे आ गया price, from $100 to $3. But the smart people, they knew that the price is going to rise. So those who have bought, can you imagine? They are sitting on $3,400 per equity share. So when the market falls, that's an opportunity. That is the only festival like Great Indian Festival. Everything is available at a discounted price. Buy. Good companies, it will rise eventually. So depression, from depression, what happens? Recovery happens. Now remember, depression में just imagine expansion और depression का points याद रखने का. Depression, GDP growth becomes negative. Negative, it means what? I've told you, during contraction, rate of GDP decreases. It means, let's say in 2000, the rate of GDP was 5%. In 2001, GDP growth is 4%. It means contraction hai. In 2002, the rate of GDP is 3%. Again, this is contraction. But if in 2003, the rate of GDP is minus 1%. So it means there is a negative growth. Even during COVID crisis, only in the second quarter, that is July, August, September quarter में, in India you had negative GDP growth. Only in that quarter. Otherwise, you will find that GDP growth rate, देखो economic slowdown होता है, the rate of GDP falls down. It means GDP grew by 5% last year. It has grown by 4% this year compared to the current year. It is growing, but at a slowing rate. But if it increases to 7%, it means it is increasing at an increasing rate. It means you are at the stage of expansion. Right. So expansion में remember interest rate increase होता, money supply increase होता, inflation increase होता, business profit increase होता, employment increase, or you can say unemployment decrease. Clear? Investment increase. Whereas contraction may just opposite, exactly opposite, and depression may extremity of that opposite. Depression may interest rate to the lowest level, money supply to the lowest level, inflation to the lowest level, profit is abnormal loss shutdown, unemployment at the highest level, and investment is not forthcoming. Also remember characteristics may that when changes in business cycle happens, the demand for everything do not change in the same manner. Demand for everything will be affected. Production and demand, supply and demand of everything will be affected, but not in the same manner. They frequently ask this question. So here you have two categories of goods. On one side, rather three categories. On one side, you have durable goods, capital goods, and luxury goods. On the other side, you have non-durable goods and services. I've told you, when, let's say, economy is expanding, correct? Demand for capital good, durable goods, luxury good will increase more than the demand for non-durable goods and services. Correct? Non-durable goods will increase, but not as much as durable goods. Likewise, when contraction is going on, the first thing I'll give up what? Will I give up eating? No. Will I stop going to the doctor? No. Will I disconnect television in my house? No. I'll give up luxury goods. I'm going to start a business. I'll not start right now. I was planning to buy an AC. I will not buy AC right now. So both during expansion and contraction, the demand and supply for durable goods, capital goods, and luxury goods will be affected more compared to non-durable goods and services, which will be affected less. Right. And the reasons for changes in business cycle क्या था? Exogenous and endogenous. Exogenous external factors, endogenous internal factors. External factors, it will affect not one but many economies, and usually these are outside the control of any organization or any country. Global war, natural calamity, pandemic, earthquake, flood, fire can be controlled. Global inflation can be controlled. We cannot control. Technological changes can be controlled. These are all external factors. It will not affect one but many economies, and no one country can control it. Population also. Do you think India can control how many people are kids are born every minute or every second? The answer is no. Government came up with the concept of small family welfare in 1966. I think it was initiated. They came up with the slogan हम दो हमारे दो. हाँ अभी अभी नहीं इंडिया में. Now replacement rate is coming down, but somebody added हम दो हमारे दो किसा किसी और को दे दो. We have beaten China. See what happens. You cannot control. Internal we can control. Internal क्या है? Internal, what is the rate of interest? RBI can control in India. What is the level of inflation? Macroeconomic factors, money supply, government can control and RBI can control. Correct or not? They can control it. Yes or no? Yes. Investment, government can come up with investment measures, tax break dega, this and that, investment can happen. All these factors can be controlled. So endogenous growth. So business cycle can change both due to exogenous and endogenous, and every time it is something or the other. Do you think if in depression happened during 2020 due to COVID, the next depression will also happen due to COVID? No, it could be anything. It could be in China and Taiwan war, Russia Ukraine further acceleration, Germany join कर दिया, third world war हो गया. It could be anything. Indicators based question आएगा आपको एक दो भी आ सकते. There are three indicators what are known as leading, lagging, coincident. Coincident, lagging indicator, it will tell you about the past. But past जाके क्या करेगा? Pattern मिलेगा. Past जाके pattern मिलेगा, and that pattern will help me decide. So it means the variable which are away, which are can be seen only after the change has happened, these are known as lagging indicator. When the variables which are visible at the same time when the economic change is happening, that is known as coincident indicator. Current rate of inflation, current unemployment rate, current global inflation, this and that. Leading indicator, the variable are visible before the event takes place. This is the most powerful one. All right. If I tell you that power consumption in India is going to increase. Not a suggestion, but power companies का stocks जो है in the next 5 years, many companies stock can give you 500 to even 1000% return. Companies like PFC, all right, PGCIL, Power Grid Corporation of India Limited, right, Indian Energy Exchange, not a suggestion again, Tata Power. Hmm? Sorry, what? CESC is a distributor. पावर फाइनेंस कॉर्पोरेशन इतना अच्छा है, आप क्यों लगे टाटा सीईएससी को क्यों ले? पावर फाइनेंस कॉर्पोरेशन, आई थिंक इट्स ऑलरेडी 30% अप. दिवाली में मैं सजेस्ट किया था 280 290 लेवल पे, 320 इट्स गोइंग टू टच नाउ, 1000 तक जाएगा. नॉट अ सजेशन अगेन. सो पावर कंजम्पशन. नाउ व्हाई डू आई नो, हाउ डू आई नो दिस? ब्लैक मैजिक नहीं है, कॉमन सेंस है. पीपल, कॉमन सेंस इज मिसिंग. India is a growing. Don't you think more factories will come in India? Correct? More businesses, more factories, more houses, more real estate. कितना real estate कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है बैंगलोर में? बोलो, हजारों हो रहा है, बहुत हो रहा है. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सब जगह कंज्यूम होगा. पावर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कंपनीज एंड पावर प्रोड्यूसिंग कंपनी, दे विल मेक अ लॉट ऑफ मनी. लीडिंग इंडिकेटर है. टोल टेक टॉक tells us consumption of power in an economy which is rising trend, tells us that what will happen in future. And second, consumption of steel. Huh? Banking sector will also grow. Banking sector will cater to all other sectors. Huh? अरे मायोपिक व्यू यू आर हैपनिंग. अभी तो देख, ये लॉन्ग रन ट्रेंड है. इफ आई से द ट्रेंड, इट इज लॉन्ग रन ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ 10 15 20 years. For you 20 years is nothing. You'll retire. For me 20 years is too much. I may die. So I'll enjoy, don't worry, I'll not die so early. इतना इन्वेस्टमेंट किस लिए किया? एंजॉय करने के लिए, गोवा में जाके होटल खोलने का. सो नाउ ट्रेंड इज अप. इन द शॉर्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम इट कैन कम डाउन. इट डजंट मैटर. ये स्मॉल अप एंड डाउन डजंट मैटर टू मी. एंड इफ इट फॉल्स इन द स्मॉल टाइम पीरियड, अच्छा है, डिस्काउंटेड प्राइस है, ग्रेट इंडियन फेस्टिवल. I don't understand the logic. You get happy when Amazon gives you discount at 50%. Wipro is now available at 50%. अब नहीं देगा. हाँ? So logic I don't understand. Simple. I make more money when the market falls. Average में नीचे पे available है, good quality shares buy. Anyways, now lagging leading indicator will tell you what is going to happen in future. If there is new order for plant and machinery, if suppose government has proposed a change in policy wherein more foreign investment will be allowed, the law has already changed, so that will tell me that in future changes are going to happen. Current one, government bola ki in FDI, what the government has said currently, newspaper if you read you will get it, that we are going to increase FDI limit in many sectors. It means foreign investment will be allowed in our country. Don't you think this is a leading indicator? How? Because I know that foreign investment. ब्लैक मैजिक तुम्हारे सपना में तो देखा नहीं ना. गवर्नमेंट न्यूज़पेपर में बोला, नोटिफिकेशन निकाला, एफडीआई आएगा. दैट टेल्स मी दैट फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट विल कम. इट्स अ लीडिंग इंडिकेटर, राइट? सो दैट एंड्स अप योर बिजनेस इकोनॉमिक्स एंड माय थ्रोट. सो नाउ बिजनेस एंड कमर्शियल नॉलेज में क्या प्रॉब्लम है बताने का. बोलो. हाँ, बीसीके में क्या प्रॉब्लम है बता. बीसीके चैप्टर 3, थर्ड चैप्टर. अयो, यू आर आस्किंग मी थर्ड चैप्टर रे. अरे नेम. And here also somebody asked me third chapter. सिद्धू, अरे बाबा थर्ड चैप्टर में क्या है देखने का? कंपनी का हेडक्वार्टर कहां है, याद रखने का कौन सा कंपनी, सीएमडी सीईओ क्या है, उसका विजन और मिशन स्टेटमेंट क्या है, और कोई कंपनी का टैग लाइन है, एलजी का लाइफ इज गुड, मैं क्या करेगा? So you have to read it yourself. There is nothing for me to explain. In the question they are asking, हाँ क्या ये क्या वॉल्यूम कंपनीज I've told you, see, foreign companies you can ignore all companies. Only those companies whose CEOs are Indians, you can remember. Microsoft, for example, Citibank, for example, you can remember. In case of Indian companies, they are all Nifty 50 का है. कौन important मेरे को नहीं पता. किसी से भी पूछ सकता है. Now don't pay attention here. Don't bang your head over chapter 3. Chapter 3 में दिमाग खराब हो रहा है. I'm not saying leave it, but please focus more time on business economics, जहां पे concept है. So chapter 3, if it's giving you too much trouble, only if it's giving you too much trouble, you can leave. All right. For 3 questions, do not create a nightmare for yourself. Because you see, understand here, I'm helpless over here. What will I do? You tell me. Ada, if there is a logic like concept, I will explain. Chapter 6, I've marked you. Those points वो याद रखने का. Terms है सिर्फ. Only terms है. Those terms you have to remember. देखो chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 4 and 5. Pay attention here, right? Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 4 and 5. BCK में अगर 40 क्वेश्चंस आने का है तो 32 क्वेश्चंस यहीं से आने का है. 33 क्वेश्चंस. चैप्टर 1 एंड चैप्टर 6 से 6 क्वेश्चन टू 5 क्वेश्चंस आने का. ऑलराइट. चैप्टर 1 से चैप्टर 2 अच्छे से करने का. चैप्टर 1 अच्छे. चैप्टर 1 तो इजी है. चैप्टर 3 एंड 4 BCK इज इजी डियर. कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा, क्विक रिवीजन नोट से पढ़ लेने का. It will be shared with you. I've shared it with the administration. It will be soft copies will be shared with you. From there, I can bet my life on it. 70 questions minimum you can get. All right, minimum 70 questions. But there is now third and 6 is not there. I've not included third and 6. I've included 1, 2, 4 and 5. All right, third and 6 you read from your book. And easy way to do it, I've told you, no. ज्यादा दिमाग नहीं खराब करने का, बेड साइड रखने का, रात को 2 पेज पढ़ लेने का, सो जाने का. Because in chapter 1, chapter 3 and chapter 6 you don't have to apply any concept. You have to only remember. All right, clear hai? Any other query? Chalo, bye bye, all the best. एग्जाम टेक्निक में फर्स्ट, इफ यू सी एनी 3-liner क्वेश्चन, 3 लाइन है, ज्यादा है, एंड यू हैव टू रीड इट, उसको गोल कर देने का, छोड़ने का नहीं, गोल कर देने का. वंस व्हेन द रीडिंग टाइम इज गिवन टू यू, you go through the question once. And easy 1-liner question, remember, in every subject, ऑब्जेक्टिव पेपर का मैं बात कर रहा हूं, in maths, in economics and BCK, you will get 20% very easy question. 20%. And when you look at the paper, you will understand which is a easy question. 1 line का question रहेगा. Usually you will find 2 lines question. You cannot ignore those questions. So you have to go 3 times over your paper. First आप क्या करो, when you are going through the question, आपको 3 लाइनें उसको सर्कल करके आगे बढ़ने का. You will come back to it. न्यूमेरिकल क्वेश्चन को सर्कल करके आगे बढ़ने का, छोड़ देने का. This way, in 15-20 minutes or half an hour max, you will go from 1 to 100 question once. And in that, you will be able to find around 20 to 30 questions which are easy you have marked. Clear? आप 30 marks, 25 to 30 marks वहां पे सिक्योर कर लेंगे. Then you go, depending on your convenience, whether you will solve numerical or not. So those who are not proficient, numerical बहुत easy है. You can take up that, or you leave numerical for now, go for the theoretical questions. Once you are done with that, then in the end, comfortably solve numerical question. So minimum to run up to the paper you have to give. एक बार में पहले का easy question search करने का, I bet 20 से 25-30 questions आपको बहुत easy side मिलेगा. For example, just example, if price increases, quantity demanded decreases, there is movement up or down on the slope of the demand curve. Down movement नहीं, up movement. Price increases, quantity demanded decreases, you move up movement, no contraction. आपको mark करना. ये easy question. All right. Demand and supply are qualitative or quantitative concept. Easy. 30 seconds, 10-20 seconds में हो गया. Right. Law of demand considers relationship between, ये भी पूछता, price and quantity demanded, income and quantity demanded, price and quantity demanded. Easy question. Right. One liner, ये सब mark. The moment you get 20-30 questions easy, your level of serotonin will increase in your head. अभी बोलेगा आप तो बस इसमें 195 लेके आएगा. So this way you can do, and you can apply it for maths as well. आपको बड़ा प्रॉब्लम में है, सर्कल करके जाने का, सर्कल करके जाने का, इजी क्वेश्चन सर्च करो और आपको एक बार मिलेगा एक. once you have to go and don't rush through the paper. When you are rushing, you are wasting time because you read it, rush किया, भूल गया क्या, फिर से पढ़ेगा, you are wasting time. So there is enough time for objective paper available. You read it comfortably and solve it, you will be able to clear it. Clear? From the class notes and the quick revision note, if you combine, you will get 90 questions plus. Quick revision note alone give you 70 questions. All right. See you. Bye-bye. Take care and all the best. Bye. And those who are interested in stock market classes after this, the batch is starting from 20th of January. 20th January, it will be 14 days. Huh? Sorry? Registration will have to do it anytime you're available, and last day when you'll come, you get your name registration registered there. So your seat will be fixed. It will be a 14 days class. During the market hours, it will happen from 10 to 1:15, 3 hours of class every day, 15 minutes of break in between. All right. Everything, mutual fund, investment, options, futures trading, forex trading, how it is done, everything about it. Investment, how to build, everything about it. Just one minute.